Hello, we're here. We actually are here. We're -1. Jack, unfortunately, is not with us, but more than one of us is here, which is it's been a while since that has occurred. So, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are jumping back into our Sea of Souls live stream Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We are the Elder Brain -1. So we're 4/5 of a brain, I guess, using 80% of our brain, something like that. But it has been quite a bit since we've played the Dungeons and the Dragons. So I'm going to give it a little bit more of a recap going into this one than we normally do, just to kind of catch us up to where we're at. And we took care of a couple things off screen as well in the hiatus and the break, just to kind of move things along. I'm going to pick a different song in the background because that one is a little bit too involved for speaking over. I need something a little bit more background atmospheric. All right. So the crew of the Radiant Dawn, you guys have arrived in Valenhold, and a few different things you're here to take care of. Primarily the full ritual with Owen Neild, who is no longer Owen. Won't go into full details of that. If you need refreshers, go back and watch, or if you're not caught up, then you can catch up with that. But with the ritual complete, you decided to attend to a few other duties in town. Donaar needed to check in with the Royal Gungrim Navy, whom he's a member of, to give an account. He was summoned by the Admiral himself to essentially give a testimony of what had transpired aboard his old ship. And knowing that there was a Gungrim consulate here in town, the morning after the ritual and all that had completed, Donaar left a note along with one half of a pair of sending stones, indicating that he was going to the consulate to take care of things. And he didn't want the party to have to wait for him or be involved, so he off and left for that. Donaar encountered some unexpected members of his, not members from, he had an encounter with somebody from his homeland as he was passing by an embassy from Dracor, which is the country he's from, way off in the east, and got some indication that perhaps Verithan, the god of truth, also the patron god of dragonkind and dragonborn, maybe a little bit more involved in things with Donaar than he had really paused to consider. And after that brief encounter, makes his way to the Gungrim consulate. I'll let Donaar address that in-game when he catches up with the party, exactly what transpired there. But after his dealings with the consulate, he decided to check in with the party to see how things were going. His assumption was that they were still back at the house and that he might stop by the market, perhaps grab something for them on the way. The party, however, along with Serena, had decided to head to the Museum of Antiquities to meet a colleague or a friend of Serena in order to figure out what some of these old scrolls that Serena had brought with her, what kind of information they could glean about Triskades, and if any of it would be of any use for the coming battle against the dark entity. There was a lot of information in these scrolls, primarily indicating that this is not the first time that Triskades has shown up in the history books. He's been around for a long time and has been popping up here and there, different mentions of different names and different organizations, but all kind of bearing that mark of him slowly working behind the scenes, building up power, kind of, stirring up chaos. And you were given your first real imagery of Triskades, at least as he appeared many thousands of years ago, along with some other names that he went by. One of those names starting with a not necessarily the Ulu type, but pretty close to the an Ulu starting with a and really solidifying the fact that Triskades is not a minor threat, that we're talking world-ending, eldritch, elder being on par with the gods sort of creature who's been building up power over all this time. The word desolations appeared in these scrolls, and Desindra, the archivist who was helping you, upon hearing this word desolation, she recalls having seen these before and decides to break protocol and take you further down into the depths of the archive, into the where the sort of forbidden tomes, some of the more ancient tomes, mysterious tomes are kept. And to her surprise, and to yours, as you enter in these deeper catacombs, there seems to have been a portal opened up to the void. And Desindra was surprised by this. This isn't usual. But an entity with familiar features appeared out of this void. When you guys were back at the Wizard Enclave, you had encountered a creature called a Caclian, weird shelled creature with tentacles came flying out, eager to devour minds. Thankfully, you were able to stop it before it headed to Anhold to wreak havoc on the citizens there. The creature coming out of this void portal refers to itself as the Prime Caclian, and it is significantly bigger. And as this creature is emerging, after Desindra, along with a couple of the guards, seem to come under some sort of weird spell, a couple of them actually just going face first off the edge into this portal. A couple others transforming into a couple of void creatures that you'd encountered before. You hear this voice of this creature start to speak into your minds, indicating that it is aware of your presence. And at the same time, Fleck, you receive a message from Donaar, checking in. You tell him that something is afoot, and that you could actually use his help. And we kind of catch up where we're at there. So before we get to the group in the archives, we'll jump cut to Donaar. You have just started to walk away from the Temple of Verithun that you hadn't gone in, but you kind of went to look at, to gaze at. Figured you're going to make your way back to the Last Post Lodge. And after your check-in with Fleck, you received the final message from him, or the answer to him as you're trying to figure out how to get to this, whatever library is. And he gives you the words, let me bring it up here. Actually, why don't we go to Ian? Fleck.
So yes, the final message comes through and it says,
narrate you're sending to him.
Yeah, D, I don't think they'll be super jazzed to let you in the secret archive. Murder investigation notwithstanding. Maybe just scry and fly instead. And he cuts out.
I love how you've gotten notwithstanding 3 words into 1 word there. I mean, it's one word. It's one word.
It's one word. Just showing off that headband of intellect. That's a 19-int word for sure.
That definitely. There we go. Yeah. So, Donaar, you are where this pin is here. You are in the Pantheon district, the Temples of the Five, just outside of the Temple of Verithun. And you wouldn't know exactly where the forbidden archives or the secret archives were, or even what that is. But you've received from Fleck library, forbidden. So library, forbidden works, eldritch horror, secret archive, and the implication to scry and fly. So you have a few things to go on. what's Donaar thinking at this point? How's he reacting to this information?
Well, Donaar is thinking, I'm glad I have Scry already prepared because I wasn't here last time and it would feel like real cheating to prepare it now.
I'm picturing you've got like your Valenhold tour book in one hand and like a bag of groceries in the other, the French bread sticking out the top, and you're just merely walking along, chatting on your
Hey
phone.
guys, I'm heading back.
I was to say my message.
Drop your groceries.
Yeah, because my message to you was basically, I'm on my way back. You guys need anything from the market before I return? So I'm thinking there's nothing going on. You guys are in, life and death situation. So, I mean, the last message that Flick heard from Donaar was like taking the receiver away from his head and asking some nearby person, excuse me, sorry to bother you, what's the fastest? The sentence would have finished off, way to the library. So I guess, was Donaar successful in getting directions to the nearest library, according to this person that he spoke to?
So after a quick back and forth, you come to understand that there are a few libraries, but the library could indicate either the Royal Archives, which is in the Gallery District, or the Museum of Antiquities, which is also in the Gallery District. So without an exact idea of the specific building or library or archives that you need to go to, you seem to have at least a bead on the area of the city, which is the Gallery District, which is the very, very south end of the city. You are currently just sort of north of the palace.
Oh.
So the quickest way would be to cross the bridge by the palace, kind of into the Fortune District, and just follow the main roads through the Arena District all the way down. You're heading into sort of the prime start of the day. You were there. It's been a few hours. So this wasn't like you were gone for an hour and back. Like,
yeah.
the time it took you to get there, the encounter you had at the embassy on the way, the couple hours spent during the interrogation, making your way back to the temple. So we're probably around noon at this point. We're approaching lunchtime. The city's bustling. It's busy. And the throughways are packed.
I have licensed myself as a magic user, but if memory serves me right, that doesn't mean that I'm allowed to use magic. Correct?
You're not. So the understanding you're given is that you can't use magic to any combative magic or any like magic that would be used to damage or to assault or anything like that. But any other magic, that's more utilitarian magic. You've already been using magic casting, while you've got a sending stone, I guess, but more utilitarian magic is fine because you've registered. They can trace it. They understand. They know you're a wizard. You're doing wizardly stuff. So it's not that you're not allowed to use magic. It's unregistered casters, if they're caught casting spells, there's more of a penalty there because they don't know who you are. They don't know, are you good? Are you bad? Like, what are you up to? But as long as you're registered, as long as you follow the law, and you're not assaulting people or stealing or doing that kind of stuff, then it's or causing, disturbance.
Okay.
Basically anything you could do without magic. If you're doing the same stuff with magic to a greater extent, then you're going to get punished. But scrying, casting messages, doing things like that, that's not going to be a problem.
All right. Well, Flick told me to scry, so I guess I'll start there. Although I don't think that's going to give me. I don't think that's actually going to help Donaar, but that was the instruction that he received. So I think Donaar will find a bench that he can sit down on, where he can have a moment of quiet. Pull out his. It's been too long. What do I have? I have a magic ball. What do I got? A scrying stone.
For
Scrying
you
orb.
would
I got a
have
scrying orb.
An orb, yeah.
So yeah, I will pull out my scrying orb and I will cast scrying. Let me make sure that I've got that. Yeah, that's going to be one of my 2. It's still... Yeah, I probably won't need the other ones there. So yeah, I will cast scrying. I will focus on Flick.
Okay.
And... Yeah. What do I
So
see?
Flick. I'm assuming, Flick, that as you're telling Donaar that, so you're willing.
You better be.
Oh, you're muted there, yeah.
I'm muted. As soon as if I feel any tingles in the spider senses, I would definitely let him in because
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So no check needed or anything of this at all because it's willing. It's being allowed. So Donaar, you send out your senses. You've got a pretty good image of Flick. You know his face well. And you see. Let's see. So I'll move us to the archives map here.
Oh my goodness. That is a big creature. Holy crap.
So what you're going to see kind of surrounding Flick, I guess, kind of immediate vicinity. Like you'll get the carpet pattern, you'll get a little bit of the atmosphere, the wall, the lighting. I'd say you probably have enough decor, sort of architectural information to at least describe what it looks like to somebody to get a better idea of where this would be. But what you see is very ornate, very finely woven carpet. This is expensive carpet. There is sort of a strange, definitely a magical luminescence to the room. So wherever this is lit by magical light, not by candlelight, not by normal torchlight. There are definitely magical lights involved here. It kind of has a bluish purple hue to it. You can hear, I guess at this point you probably this is going to be a good question, whether you would hear the cackling or not, because he's speaking telepathically to all in range.
I don't see why. No, I don't
You
see why I would
probably
hear
wouldn't,
that. Yeah.
because your mind isn't there.
Yeah.
But Flick is definitely tense. You can see him looking. You see Torque off to the side of him. You do see a couple bodies on the ground, actually, as well.
Oh.
One wearing what appears to be some sort of very ornate-looking armor. So that might give you a little bit of information to help pin down the where they are as well.
I
So
think
you could use the armor. So this is one of the archive guards. You could use the armor. You can use the carpet, the architecture on the wall, the lighting. That would be probably about as much information as you have.
I think.
Well, I'm wondering, would we know that he needs a hint?
Well, I was just gonna say at this point, I'm seeing the room and I'm thinking, Donaar's probably feeling overwhelmed with what he's seeing. Like, where on earth are the guys? I think Donaar is probably going to pull out the sending stone and be like, all right,
So-
Flick, I see you're somewhere crazy. What color was the library?
So what I'm thinking though, actually, because Flick, you are aware that you are being scryed on.
Actually, in that case, I would just turn to Serena and say, hey, listen, your worshipfulness, D might need directions. Where the hell are we?
That's what I'm saying is, yeah, because Donaar,
That's better,
you can
yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear you can hear him, right? You can, because you see what's happening and you can hear what's happening in the immediate vicinity as well. And so Serena shouts out, "What? Is he listening right now? Museum
Everyone
of Antiquities.
wave.
Museum of Antiquities, Forbidden Archives."
Okay.
That's about all you're about to get. You can get out before, because things are getting hairy.
Mhm.
The cackling is definitely aware now that you guys are talking to somebody else. He's like, "Oh, this is going to get interesting." Which Donaar you don't hear.
Of course not. No. Okay. In that case, then Donaar will, because I don't know where it is, and because I have not prepared teleport. I have it, but I haven't prepared it. I prepared a more powerful spell that I was thinking about using, but I don't think it's actually going to be valuable just yet.
Well, it's gonna be easy enough for you to find out where the Museum of Antiquities is.
Yeah. So I think I will ask for directions from the nearest person, and then I will cross the bridges in front of the palace, and then make my way through downtown. I will be sprinting as much as Donaar is able to do then. I don't know how far exactly the distance would be, so you can tell me if Donaar can sprint that time, or that amount of time.
Okay. It's going to take a bit to get you there.
Yep.
So the Museum of Antiquities is where I've got the token on the map here. This is where they are in the gallery district. You're given a very clear description of it. It looks like an old pyramid, basically a step pyramid. Like it's being constructed to appear as some sort of ancient structure.
Okay.
So basically you can't miss it. Think like Bass Pro Shop.
Yep.
Big pyramid. Yeah.
Yep.
Pyramid of Giza.
Created. I think no, you know what? Forget that. I'm not going to run. Once I get the description, I'm going to cast Polymorph on myself. And I'm going to turn myself into something airborne that's fast. Let's go with some kind of hawk or falcon. Yeah, some kind of falcon that I know is fast.
Peregrine falcon, fastest creature on Earth.
Then that's what this isn't Earth, but I'll go with your answer.
Still, fastest natural creature.
Fair enough. So once I get that,
dive at 200 kilometers an hour.
I will cast that on myself, turn into a peregrine falcon, and then make my way down there. And get inside as fast as possible.
There's your random information for the day, folks. Peregrine falcon can, when it does its death from above to attack an enemy, 200 kilometers an hour.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. In fact, stealth jets were modeled after peregrine falcon's aerodynamics. So there you go.
There you go.
And now you know. Okay, so you can get there much, much faster. So we'll say as you, we're just going to take care of this because this is kind of happening. We're going to jump to the museum in a moment here. Donaar, as you take to the air, Peregrine Falcon, you can definitely see that the top of the pyramid structure now. And since you can go in a straight line without having to worry about anything getting in your way at this point, well, you started from did you start from there or did you start running?
No, I think once Donaar knows where he's going, he'll jump into polymorph right away, just because of the urgency in Flick's voice.
Yeah. So birds can fly really fast, and over city like that, you can definitely, like, without just gauging it, you can make that in less than a minute.
Oh wow!
As a falcon, you're a falcon.
Okay. Yep.
You're a bird. Like, you got a straight line. There's nothing stopping you. Yeah, nobody's gonna be like, "Hey, get that bird." You're a bird.
I'm not being chased by a red wizard.
You're a bird. You're on the coast. Like, there's birds everywhere. Your port city. There's birds all over the place. One more bird is just nothing. So
Just a bird.
now, what's your plan when you get to New Antiquities? Because this is going to be the trickier part.
So, yeah, that's the trickier part. I have stupid ideas in my brain, which I might employ. So
Always fun.
I think Donaar is going to try to, from the air, locate the nearest entrance, and then dive bomb at it.
Basically, there's one main entrance at the front.
So he'll dive bomb at it, and then, he'll gauge the distance. Let's say 20 feet from the ground, he'll open up his wings and try to slow himself down. And then as he lands, well, no, because he could take damage as a bird. So he'll just land as hard as he can without thinking that he'll hurt himself. Assuming that the landing will take him out of his polymorph. I'll say that. So he's landing hard. Intentionally
you're
landing
deal
hard.
yourself one point of damage to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, which will clear the polymorph.
So the people, there's a lot of people walking around, and you do see there are Valerian Legion. There are guards on patrol. The Museum of Antiquity also has its own guards. It's archive guards, and you do see a couple out front wearing the same armor as the individual you'd seen near Flick's feet.
Oh.
And as you hit the ground, and suddenly you're not a bird, but there's a dragonborn with very bright scales suddenly just there. You definitely do draw attention as the guards at the front, as well as one of the passing legions, to kind of like reach for their weapons and start moving in your direction with a cry of, oh there, stop, halt.
I imagine Donaar is coming to a sliding halt after coming back as a dragonborn. I think he will put up both hands as a sign of, like, what's the word? Surrender.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry to drop in on you so unannounced.
What's that word? What do we don't do?
There is a matter of absolute urgency happening underneath this library. I need to get inside.
The two, the Valerian Legion kind of look at the archive guards and look at you. One of them kind of steps forward. What do you mean emergency? Who are you? How do you know of this? You just, you're not a bird. You are registered for magic, I hope.
Absolutely registered. Did they give me a token or something?
Yes.
I will present my token. Other hand still up. Here's my token.
You see one of the Valerian... So interesting. You see, this is the first time you've really witnessed this, but one of the Valerian Legion actually pulls out a long metal rod and kind of holds it in your direction and does a little wave. And you see that it connects with the stone that you have, the sigil that you've been given. And they kind of pause for a second. Donaar Norixius?
That's me, yes.
Very well. Be careful with the sort of magic that surprises. This isn't an assault, of course, but you want to be careful who you surprise. Could be dangerous for you or for others.
Totally understand. If this were not a matter of urgency, I would not do this.
The Legion seems happy enough to kind of leave it to the archive since you registered. They're still kind of standing by, like they're not just like, yeah, whatever. You see them like they back off, but they're definitely like waiting in case they're needed. That kind of like military, like, we're just going to keep an eye on you for a minute and just see what's up. But the archive guard steps forward. What is this emergency you speak of?
The kind that if we don't do something about it, the whole city might be in danger. I could use your help, actually.
Vague. I'm sorry, you're going to have to give me more than that, than the word of a mysterious stranger falling out of the sky and telling me that, underneath our feet is some dire circumstances.
Okay.
How do
I
you know
really-
these things?
I really wish that I had the ability for some kind of illusion right now. The best I've got is prestidigitation, so we're going to try that. If you'll permit me for a moment, I can perhaps create a small version of what is happening inside in my hands.
Why don't you just tell me?
Have you ever heard of a Cacklian?
No.
Okay, so picture a giant flying tentacled monster with massive mouth, the ability to speak to you telepathically, and the desire to destroy the world.
Okay, like look to the other one. Yes. Okay. You have quite the imagination, my friend, and you think that this thing is right below our feet, right here in this museum where I've worked for 7 years. There's not. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to do better than that, my friend. I suggest that you move along before our guard friends here find a reason to get more involved.
Okay, I need to do some reading.
I mean, did you really expect that to work?
I don't know. How do I get myself inside? I shouldn't have been so urgent.
There's a flying tentacle shell brain monster right below you. So I'm going to give you some
Only
time
you
to-
had some sort of
to think
magic
about
that
that.
allowed you to solve many problems.
I
Imagine.
have many solutions right now. I'm trying to figure out which one to employ.
Okay.
Also, which ones I have in. But yes,
So-
feel free to go away from me.
So ponder that as Donaar, because in live time, Donaar is currently out front of the Museum of Antiquities, trying to figure out how to get in, without getting the guards on him, or without other things going wrong. And in the meantime, the rest of you, you've just watched a couple of the guards turn into Korax, those strange void entities with no face. Managed to take them down. One of them turned into this weird faceless stalker, this flying cloaked entity. And as the dust settled, the haze, the purple haze, the mist that was obscuring the bottom of the void, Flick, you'd sent Paige down to see, and through Paige's eyes, you saw these tentacles start to writhe and rise up from the pit as the entity slowly brought itself up. These are minds that are not familiar to me. I have new visitors. Interesting. You're not supposed to be here.
That
Think
sounds like
the-
us.
And I think the sentiment's mutual, buddy.
And what makes you think that I don't belong down here?
I don't know. Melting people, being all spooky coming out of the magic hole in the ground. Doesn't seem like something that's a very sustainable practice in a big old museum library place.
Yes. Well, let me tell you a story.
Oh, goody. Let me get my story flask.
What if I told you that I have been here for a long, long time? That in fact,
The very reason that this archive is constructed where and how it is thanks to me. What if I told you that this is my archive, where you are currently trespassing?
Oh, so what you're saying is you're the librarian?
I
We
am
got
the
questions.
librarian's keeper, is perhaps a better way
I
Oh,
suppose-
great.
to think of it.
You did melt the librarian. She was nice. You shouldn't have melted her.
Oh, the archivist, Desindra, you mean?
Yeah.
I didn't do that to her. She saw through the veil. Whereas
Let's not look over at Taylor.
previously, she had been coming down here to indulge in information at my will, conveniently forgetting that I was ever here or that I exist at all. You're not supposed to know that I'm here. And so when those few whose minds prove to be strong enough to break free of the illusion, discover me, cleanup must be done. Unfortunately, individuals need to be removed from time to time. Sometimes they are drawn in by the madness of the void themselves. I'm assuming that is what happened as you all came down here. I sensed her presence, familiar enough, but yours is new. But I also sense that you have touched the void, all of you.
I do tend to touch a lot of things.
Yeah, I got sticky fingers.
Well,
And I'm assuming
Why
Torque
are
ropes
you-
at both of those.
why are you here, little fleshlings?
I mean, that's a good question.
like, I say we just dish.
Why are we here? Flick, I don't think I've ever actually sat around and thought the question about why are we here? Why are we here? What is the meaning of all of this? We just walk around on this ground beneath us, the sky above us, and yet there's so much that we can't see, we can't do, we can't observe. And if we close our eyes and it's all not within our periphery, can we even see it? I mean, these are questions. Absolutely. Why are we here?
I think at this point,
You
Torque is
amuse
grunting
me.
from the back and just saying something like, I don't think he was asking a philosophical question.
As amusing as your little ranting is,
It is, isn't it?
He is quite charming.
I must come to a decision about what to do with you. But first, I would like to know your intentions, what you have come for. If it's information you seek, well, information I have. Perhaps an exchange is warranted.
Well, I mean, you did already murder the lady who was going to tell us the information, so I suppose you're just as good. So yeah, we're here. We're trying to figure out Triscuits. You got any dish on that guy?
Biscuits.
That's right. You heard him.
You know
I
the
don't know of an individual named Triscuits.
The 13th son of the 13th son, the bad news, the last surviving remnant of gang of ne'er-do-wells of the other
you mean
realm.
Truscades, the
Old
13th
Daddy
fella.
Tentacles.
constellation. He who names himself King of the Void. Hmm.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yes, I know all about him.
And I'm sure you are more than aware of his desire to push his tentacly little form into our world and how maybe that shouldn't happen.
Well, what if I want that to happen as well? I am a creature of the void, after all.
Well, then we'll have issues. That's what.
I see. Oh, I know who you are now.
Yeah, we're the thorn in his ass.
That's right. We're the great Shadowbane and friends.
I've heard whispers of a group of pests attempting to interfere with his plans.
I mean, we do kind of fit that bill
I mean,
spectacularly.
to be fair, it's not necessarily personal. We tend to interfere with many plans,
This is a fair point, good sir.
including our own.
Mostly our own, but
Mostly our own.
Let me set something straight for you.
I was wondering when I would be able to get this spaghetti fixed.
You have a quick wit coming from a mind that I'm sure I would like to explore further.
It's as sharp as Flick's toenail.
I don't serve Truscades. I'll make that very clear. He claims lordship over all from the void, and he has used some of my kin, sadly enough. Now that I accessed the information that I have, I believe you encountered one of them.
You're going to
We're all
have to be more
connected.
specific. We've encountered a lot of tentacle things.
and squished a lot of them.
Yeah, it's kind
Smaller-
of becoming a regular thing.
A smaller version of me.
Oh, that one we didn't squish.
We're
The
all
one that got
connected.
away.
Well, you guys killed that one.
We
Oh,
did
we
kill
killed
that
that
one,
one.
yeah. It tried
Yeah,
to
we
get
killed
away.
most of the things.
It tried to get
Too
away. We didn't
many.
let it.
It tried to
Look.
get away, and it was succeeding at getting away. And then I think Mike came back for a session, or Jack came back for the next session, and it lasted all of one round.
You guys fastball specialed. Donaar
Yeah.
fastball special torque
That's
up
right.
onto the back of it.
Yeah.
and Ixnayed it. Down into laser shooting statues. It was good times.
I don't serve him. But in some ways, our interests align. I serve myself. And what I am interested in is knowledge, information, memories. I savor the experiences of minds. All these archives around you, I have indulged their contents. I feed off of their words. The whole reason this structure exists is to funnel information, funnel knowledge that I will use for myself. I don't know if I want to let you leave here willingly. I can offer you a very quick solution. in exchange for a particularly tasty memory from each of you, you will walk away, but you will forget that you ever met me or that you were ever here.
Hmm.
That is your only peaceful option, I'm afraid. For I sense that there is much to be found inside of each of your heads, and I thirst for it.
That was a little creepy.
Have you seen it?
Oh, I know.
I mean,
I think okay, Flick, you don't have any fava beans on you, do you?
Nothing that's fit for non-goblin consumption.
Okay, good. They're not beans, they're plants.
so essentially, to break it down, what you've been given the choice is to willingly offer up a memory, which you will lose. And then you will also lose any recollection of this encounter. And you will come to outside. And he'll give you some information, perhaps, that you remember.
It sounds pretty one-sided right there.
He'll exchange some information with you. Or you resist, and he will attempt to feed by force.
That's the thing. I mean,
we're going here. So
we defeated one of these things. We could probably do it again, but I don't know about y'all. But I'm a little shot in terms of what I can do. I can still fight, but I'm also not a big fan of this whole removing memory thing.
Oh, I thought there would be plenty of memories that Talon would like to forget. Isn't that why he drinks?
Nah.
I mean,
yes, but that's on his terms.
Fair.
Maybe pick up a few hangover memories, and that.
Now, did you guys fight last session? Because Torque has everything.
No.
To be fair, he's.
Well, yeah, you did. You did. They did fight. They didn't fight this. They fought a few other minor.
Torque is down a couple of hit points, but I think he was sitting on.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
On his rages until.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I definitely am still
Speaking
holding on to
which,
some stuff.
by this point, he would have returned to normal size. But...
yes.
I mean, like, we can do this. It's so rare that we meet anybody who wants to help us.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure I can come up with some bogus, do you really need to know algebra? Like,
is that going to be tasty for him, though?
Well, this might be, if he starts, picking and choosing and has a shopping list, then things might get ugly. But
that's the thing, isn't it? I mean,
is it maybe worth asking what he means by tasty memories?
One would assume anything that would get a late night special on Netflix.
Salacious. Ooh.
You can give me an insight check or ask straight up, but
it sounds like the direct approach that Torque would take to cut out all the dithering here. So.
And that's what I was kind of thinking. I think
yes.
Torque will ask, what would be a tasty memory to you?
Something that you hold dear. A treasured memory.
Mm-hmm.
Treasured.
Yeah, it's never like, it's that, that time you woke up and you accidentally walked outside in your underwear. It's never anything like that.
Yeah.
It's always like, your first kiss, or
Whoa.
I wish to steal. I wish to feed on the memory the first time you ever laid eyes on the sea, like things like that.
Not quite. More something that is precious to you, or
First shanty I ever learned.
perhaps some information that secrets, things that either you wish to stay hidden or that others wish to stay hidden. Knowledge that I can use.
Oh.
Yeah.
It must be something worthy.
Ed wants to devour our cool backstories.
The question you need to ask yourselves is the cost of the information you seek. What are you willing to pay?
I mean, there is saving the world on the table here, so
I'm sure I can help you. I know much.
And
this is an all or nothing deal, right?
Yeah, there's no way for us to just leave, unfortunately. It was pretty specific about that. Because, you see, part of the deal is that it gets to also take the memory of us meeting it, and thus we'll never know that he's actually here, and then he can go on doing his thing. But if we try to leave... See, I mean, the third option is we beat this thing into submission, and then are like, no, listen. But
these are our terms.
I don't think that's gonna go over very well. This thing seems a little beyond such streetwise methods of communication.
Well, and if it has the ability to tell Triskades no, yeah.
Well, I assume that's because it's like a fifth dimensional being or something. It's like on the same playing field.
Okay.
So while this debate is happening, how is Donaar approaching his attempted breach?
Well,
or trying to get in.
Donaar is desperately trying to get in. Mike, on the other hand, doesn't want to give up a story. So, assuming the guards are not like trying to apprehend Donaar, then I think he will.
No, they're just kind of staying there.
But like the last thing that happened was they laughed at his story. So I think what Donaar is going to do is he's going to drop his hands to his side, kind of furrow his brow, like, okay. And I think he's going to walk down the stairs back to street level. When he gets down there, I am burning spell slots like there's no tomorrow, guys. Donaar is going to pull out a forked twig from his component pouch, and he is going to cast Locate Object. And he is going to try to locate Flick's shield.
Ooh.
Smart.
Okay.
You don't want to locate my flask?
Well, who knows? Maybe you finished it and you ditched it. I know that Flick has that shield. He literally can't take it off, so...
Yeah, that's fair. Interestingly enough, I guess we don't know... I don't know, Talon definitely doesn't know this, but I wonder if Flick is thinking about whether or not Donaar applies to this
Well, that
deal.
in the back of my head, it was if he, doesn't show up in time, then he might be exempt.
But does Flick know that it knows that Flick knows that?
But they don't know that we know we know.
Because if it knows that you were speaking to him,
it knows that there was
which then
an
means
external
that
party.
You know that it knows that you know that Donaar is outside the room.
Yes, it definitely knows there is an external party.
Yeah.
So my question is, hey, Princess, are you willing to pony up here, or are you going to force us into a fight?
I carry with me a lot of information that my order guards closely. I worry what this entity could get from my mind.
Well, that's perfect. You tell it something that your order already knows, and then just go back home and learn it again. Easy peasy.
But that would mean it finding out something that my order knows that would be not good for it to find out.
Hey, you know what would be good for your order to know? This thing is here. We should tell them that.
If I get the chance, trust me.
To be fair,
Or this
what
thing
are they-
was
what-
here, because I think that's the only way that
I
happens,
was gonna
right?
say, what are they gonna do about that?
Send the mop and bucket crew, because it's going to be a goop cleanup.
Donaar,
Uh-huh.
you definitely sense his shields. It is within 1,000 feet of you, and you sense so you're standing at kind of street level in front
Mhm.
of. It's almost like a 45-degree angle, like straight down, like
Under the building somewhere.
heading like there's a line like down right below the center of the top of the pyramid. It's less than 1,000 feet. What I'm trying to figure out, it says you sense the direction as long as that object is within 1,000 feet. It doesn't tell you the exact distance though.
No, it's not saying that like I know where it is specifically. Like it's not like I get a beacon in my view or something.
Yeah, you don't get a map marker. But I mean, well, not with the distance. You know exactly, like you know that it's that way,
Yeah.
and it's within 1,000 feet.
But I don't know. I just know that it's within 1,000 feet. I don't know exactly
Could you
how far.
walk around the building and triangulate a little bit?
This does last for up to 10 minutes.
Yeah, you have concentration on it, right?
Okay, so then, yeah, Donaar will, once he realizes it's within range, Donaar will try to triangulate a little bit. He will walk as much as he can around the structure to try to pinpoint it.
Go ahead and give me a math check. Intelligence.
Hey, I'm trained in that.
Like I
I'm
said,
the
who
best.
needs trigonometry?
Yeah.
Currently, Donaar.
All right. So just a straight up intelligence check?
Yeah. Because this is literally, you're trying to pinpoint, like, okay.
First roll in over a month.
Did you
I
seriously?
rolled a 20.
Nice.
Natural 20. If I could move my camera, I'd show you.
Plus what?
Plus 4 for my intelligence.
24. Okay.
You've discovered Higgs boson.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Work for CERN. The black hole.
You know, I just had this idea, guys. It's this large machine that collides particles together.
We'll just use that against Triscates.
I think it can save Eudora.
All right.
Or destroy it.
So, just pure intellect, like crunching numbers. What I'm trying to figure out is, would you be able to determine the distance,
Mm-hmm.
or relatively close enough distance to where his shield is? And you can get the dimensions of the museum. You know it's in 1,000 feet. What's your plan?
So if I can get to a position where I know that I'm close enough, I have seen the room that Flick is in. I could dimension door there.
So you've seen.
I've seen the floor.
An unoccupied space,
Yeah, but
right
doesn't-
around him.
As I say, doesn't dimension door mean you have to pick a direction though? So wouldn't you also have to know what direction it is from where you are?
But I know which
Well, he
direction
does,
it
with
is.
the locate object.
That's why he's doing locate object and triangulating.
Locate
I
object
see.
tells me direction,
Yeah,
and I have
so he
a
knows the
visual
exact-
because I've seen
That
it.
makes sense.
So, yeah, Dimension Door says, but a place you can see currently, when you can visualize,
Okay.
or when you can describe by stating
Yeah.
distance and direction.
That's why we should have had your familiar.
Oh yeah,
Familiar,
but I have seen the
You
room
have
through scrying.
visualized it. You have
Mhm.
seen it through. Yep, you
Yep.
have seen it. You know where it is. You know the approximate distance. I'd say you're not going to know it's exactly 473.6 feet, whatever. But I'll say triangulating around, you're able to determine that you are within 500 feet if you're kind of like right near the entrance of the building, or if you're right near the wall, like the outer edge of the pyramid. essentially where you guys are right now is like right at the core, like you're below the very center. You're only 2 floors down actually, because there's a subfloor, which is where the archives were, and then there's a floor below that, which is where you guys are. So it's not like you're in the Underdark or something.
Mm.
So could you attempt it? Yes. Will you come out exactly
And
where
yeah,
you want?
There might be a little bit of scatter, but you'll be fine.
We're gonna see.
does it say
Star Trek
anything?
has taught me anything. Teleporting is completely safe.
If you would arrive in a place already occupied by an object or a creature, you and any creature traveling with you each take 4d6 force damage, and the spell fails to tell. Oh, that's the problem. If I take damage, it just fails to teleport me. So I could be burning a spell slot for absolutely nothing. But Donaar is understanding that this is a matter of urgency, so I will do it. I will burn the spell slot. I will dimension door as close to Flick as I think I can, given only a visualization for maybe a minute.
So you've essentially done this. You've been triangulating and figuring this out while this extended conversation with the cackling has taken place. We're talking, these are kind of parallel things that are happening. And yes, we're MacGuffining this a bit, but whatever. Otherwise, it's not gonna be fun. We want to see what happens. So I'm gonna get you to. So you're gonna cast a spell, and we're gonna run this percentage base that you have a percentage chance of. It's pretty good percentage. You have a pretty good idea, I'd say. Like you're not going blind totally. You know the room. You've seen it. You have an idea, the direction that you need to head right to the shields. Relatively the distance. You have a good idea of where you're going. There's big enough open space there. You're not trying to go into like a little, like 5x5 room. You've got a decent sized space here with a large room. So there's a big enough of cavity for essentially you to kind of aim with enough grace. Basically what's going to determine is whether you teleport directly above the cackling and like drop in his mouth, or like where you are. So I'm going to get you to give me a D100 percentile roll here.
Okay, there's one.
Higher is better, right?
Yeah.
Don't screw me here, dice. Come on. That's a 90 and a 7.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
You nat 20 your intelligence check, and you 97 on the percentile.
Here, I'm taking a picture of it. I'll put it in the Discord.
With those rolls, I think I'm confident enough, comfortable enough to say that Donaar has figured this out, because that's nuts. If you rolled like below a 50 or something, it was going to get interesting. But a 97, that's pretty much as good as you can get. So you would have been that. Are you going from the front of the building?
Wherever I feel would be the closest. So wherever along that route I felt was closest to Flick's
So that would have been around the right side of the building then. And you've got a 97%. Jeez, that's ridiculous.
I agree.
That's straight up ridiculous.
I agree.
So you're probably going to pop in like over here, which is probably where you want to be, because you're aiming. You would have been going from the right side. 100% would have got you like right there, right beside Flex. So 97%, you're pretty much. That's actually probably the best you could have. Short. If you fall short of, if you fall too short, you're gonna end up like in what would have been a wall or whatever, right? Or the floor above, even perhaps, or it just failed. So that's how I was running those options. Okay. So you appear, and you guys are. This is ready conversation. So you've had the question posed to you. You're debating. Serena has given her answer of whether, she doesn't really want to give information that her order deems basically, super secretive, high classified. And there's a portal appears sort of behind you, Flick, and Turk looks around, and Donaar, you step right in to the room, and you see what you see.
Welcome aboard, Skipper.
How the hell
cackling-
did you
the
do
cack-
that?
The cackling looks over and goes,
Ah, there's the other one.
Great. Now we don't have an ace in our sleeve.
Just in time.
you hear this mentally.
Uh,
So you were the one that Flick was speaking to. I'm assuming you scryed on him then.
Guilty as charged, eh, Skipper?
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, we
let's-
should talk about...
Let's say something like that. Yes.
Not the first time you heard that today, or we'll talk about it later.
What on earth have I just walked in on? What's going on here?
Well, let me break it down for you real simple like.
Please do.
Big and ugly here. Ain't a fan of Triscuits,
That's good.
but knows his game. However, he's a bit of a broker in memories. He's willing to give us some dish, but we have to give him memories and forget that we ever saw him.
Oh,
Or we just fill his face in. That's kind of the choice,
and he's letting us.
wherever his face is.
I
Just letting us
appreciate the
deliberate that.
confidence.
I don't know about you guys, but
I've
I'm
not survived this long, longer than you can possibly imagine, by making rash, impulsive decisions. I wait, I calculate, bide my time.
And occasionally melt people. And I point to the puddles on the floor where the dead bodies of
As I mentioned, keeping my existence secret to the greater public is of primary concern to me.
to you, sure.
Understand that such consequences are rare. I prefer to simply allow the coexistence of others with a bit of memory shaping and illusion. I prefer to avoid violence, but when it's necessary, I will do what I need to ensure my survival. Something I'm sure you can understand.
Why is your identity here being secret so important to you?
Do you think the city above would tolerate my presence here if they knew?
So
I
you
suppose
ass-
you missed the part where this entire archive exists because of me. I am the keeper behind the scenes, as it were. The curator of the museum doesn't even know that she works for me.
How about I propose a different thing, or a different offer?
Oh, heck yeah. Let's go, buddy.
I'm curious.
You're working under the assumption that I can't get this information out that you're here. That would be a mistake.
Ooh, I like it when D talks tough.
How about instead of an unfair
Bold.
trade, we exchange information. You allow us to leave safely, and in exchange, we do not tell anybody of your presence. Which I can do like that, for the record.
Now, why would I think that you wouldn't tell anybody? I would assume that you would want people to know that I'm here so that I can be taken care of. You seem to be pretty opposed to incursions of my kind and others from the void into your precious world. Would you truly tolerate my presence here?
Here's the thing. I know I just got here. But
Yes.
given that he, and Donaar will point to Torque, is not trying to beat your face in with his warhammer, with his anchor, I'm assuming that maybe there's some value in keeping you around. Which perhaps means that maybe on some level, you could be perceived as an ally to us. And since you don't seem to be coming out here trying to take over the world like the actual foe that we're fighting, I am willing to overlook your presence here for now. I know I said that in a way that seemed like I wasn't finished. I'm done.
Mic drop.
Yep.
You are so confident in your ability to share information of my existence. Try.
Try?
Before he's just got power over
Of
kill, and
course.
it's just like whatever.
Oh crap! Does he have some kind of like anti-magic thing going on here?
I'm gonna tell you right now, Donaar, I have exactly 4 collective spell slots.
You want to spread the information, send a message elsewhere to somebody. By all means, give it a shot, Fleshling. Do you think you are the first to threaten me such?
I am assuming that I am not the first.
Good.
However, our team is not exactly interested in giving up something precious to us. I am simply trying to make sure that we both understand that there is the ability to sway this conversation either way. I would like to avoid conflict with you. I would also like to avoid giving you something that is near and dear to me, that I will never get back. I'm sure my friends agree. Surely, there is another way that we can come about this peaceably, which is my offer. We exchange the information, you give us whatever you feel is agreeable. We leave here safely. You go unknown. You have my word.
Give me a persuasion check, Donaar.
Oh, I don't have good charisma. This is going to be bad. Mike is more persuasive than Donaar is. That's the only thing Mike has over Donaar. And it's not even much. Not even much. I'll admit that. Not even much. Persuasion. This is a +1. Come on, 20. Oh, yeah, 5. +1, 6.
Talon will just be like, "Oh Lord, why would he use? Oh God."
Look, I have, if he really pushes it, I have a way, but...
Is it called banishment?
No, I don't have that prepared.
Of course you
You
don't.
propose an exchange of information. What information do you have that you're willing to give me that I would deem worthy of telling you what I know about Triskades?
Careful here, buddy. Information is power, and we have a lot of it.
I know.
At
Above
least one of you understands.
table. I mean, realistically, we actually do have things we could tell him. I don't think we should, but
Do we have 4 things that we could tell him?
no. Well, maybe. If you put to a stretch, you probably. But we're talking things we don't like, look, we know there's a dragon. We know about the whole Umbra thing with Trascades. We know about all manner of politics stuff going on. We know about all kinds of stuff with the portal. Like, we know things. But things that this thing probably, if it already knows, I mean, that would solidify that we should probably help it. But you know what I mean? Like, those are the only things it's going to actually find interesting. It's literally a librarian.
I don't know how interested this thing would be in it.
Yeah, you basically hit it. Like we're talking about an extra dimensional
Yeah.
information broker here.
The other thing that we know is the location of a kingdom's worth of platinum. Does
it care?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be interested in that. Could that help fund its efforts in protecting itself here? I don't know. But yes, there's information that we could share. Do we want it to have it?
I'm just like, I don't know, man. That seems like... I mean, you do you, buddy.
I don't want to do me. I want one of you to do Donaar. I'll go back to playing Torque. That's a better fit for me.
All right, so I'll play Donaar. I'll give it whatever it wants.
I'll be the DM. All right, the Cacklian just says, you know what, guys, I made a mistake. I'll go back into my portal.
No, I didn't make that.
I don't think we should be bargaining. At least, like, I don't know. I feel like that's playing with fire pretty significantly. I don't know.
So speaking of playing with fire, while Donaar has it distracted, and Flick is going to conjure up his what is it called? His wizardly quill. So this is part of his Order of Scribes magic. It's got a magical quill that can write stuff down for me on its own. And it's going to be just taking furious notes about all this shit that's going down. Because he can wipe my memories, but I've written it down in a book.
Conjuring that up, is that?
It is a bonus action. You can magically create a tiny quill in your free hand. That's what it said. So
there's no verbal or semantic.
Is it a spell?
It's not. It's a class feature.
Oh,
I love this discussion. This is great. This is information. I don't like any of it.
There's no other way for me to really get to the heart of it than asking that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that look, it's the DM's job that whenever a player says "I do thing," the DM's like starts asking very specific questions about the thing.
Absolutely. I need to know the specifics here.
I look at the door. Oh, well, do you touch it?
I have very
That's not what I
specific,
said.
I have very specific things that I can do, depending on the specifics of the things that you do. So,
I think Donaar would like to pose a question to the Prime Cacklian. Forgive my ignorance. I literally just dropped into this conversation.
Oh, I thought you just meant in general.
Zing.
I love the chaos between all of you. It is.
It literally flows in our blood.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
What information would be of value to you that we could offer you? You seem to have a very large grasp on things. Look at the size of this library.
Indeed.
I'm just curious, what would be something that would be sufficient value to you? Then I can let you know if we have that.
I have a vast repository of goblin genealogy if you need it.
This is how this all works. I have this knowledge here that I have collected over eons, which I parse out to those who come down here. Archivists, many over time. In exchange, they bring me that which I can't get from these books.
active information from the world out there. Current events, current happenings. Different powers at work, who's doing what and where and why. What I can use, what I can benefit from. I exchange information. But I keep my existence quiet. And so they come unwillingly, unknowingly sharing with me all they hear and all they see. They cover all that information away.
See, he likes his privacy, but he enjoys violating everyone else's.
Because I can.
Yeah, that's the good reason.
Okay. So, in an effort to come to a peaceable solution here, I am sure that a being such as yourself is aware of the void gates littered throughout Eudora.
Yes.
I'm just
I think you just insulted it.
trying to set a baseline.
You're saying yes either way. You know that.
That's how we should frame every question. It's like, as I'm sure you must be aware, my name is Talon Wavesinger. And as I'm sure you also must be aware, I am what they call a human. And as I'm also sure you are aware, this is Flick Dog Slicer, who I'm
Smite.
sure you are also aware is a goblin.
And Talon becomes a puddle of goo. As I'm sure you are aware.
Now I'm less confident in my suggestion.
The mental, like, you definitely feel the sarcasm and the, like, are you serious in its response to you.
Oh, we heard that.
Mhm.
It was very well
Yes.
acted.
I know of the void gates. Much more about them than you ever will. Trust
I mean, he's kind of soaking in one right now, D. Is it,
Is this a void gate?
well, under his butt, I think.
It is
You look over the edge.
not the specific gates that I know you are speaking of. I accrete my own.
But, adjacent technology. I get you. Yeah.
I
Okay.
can come and go from the void as I please.
Aren't used to it.
So,
Yes.
what we have learned
Yes, I am.
What we have learned on our travels is that Triskades does not appear to have that ability to come and go from the void as he pleases. He is instead using void gates, corrupting them,
Like a chump.
to try to make his way into this plane of existence.
Like a
You know
chump.
that. You know that with such certainty, do you?
We do. Above table, do we have a list of which ones he's already corrupted?
Above table, we do.
Okay, I have a list of void gate locations, but I didn't list which ones have been messed with. I
We may not know, because I feel like if you don't have it written, we probably don't know.
So I have the symbols for Ivory Spire, Chios, and the Barren Isles. Do we have those because they were corrupted? Or is it the Ivory
Oh, you
Spire's
had
been
those-
corrupted?
You have those. So you have the tablet that has the different symbols pertaining to different gates, and you've been able to ascertain which markings
Which one's
match up
which.
with which gates.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with whether they've been corrupted or not. You simply are
But there
putting
was
a list together of
Okay.
the ones that you've been able to.
one that we went
because-
to that had been corrupted, right?
There was one you went to, which was on the Barren
Occupied.
Isles, and it was surrounded by the undead.
So
Who
we
did
could
not attack you
assume-
because you were currently under truce with Umbra.
Okay, so we could assume that the Barren Isles is one of those locations that's been corrupted.
I want my cake. you want cake?
There's nothing. Okay, so
No.
pausing was I'm not sure where you're getting that from. I think that's a misunderstanding.
Am I
of
misremembering?
So
Not us,
the
bluff.
information, what you have the tablet.
Yeah.
That has the different symbols of it. So think the way I explained it was like Stargate,
Yep.
where like each different gate has room connected to it, has sort of a symbol connected to it. So you know that there are a whole bunch out there. The ones that you've visited, you were able to match with the symbols on the tablet and say, okay, we know that this one goes to this one. This, if I put in this symbol, it goes to that gate. If I put in this symbol, it goes to that gate. But there's more out there that you haven't visited. Of their location from Eddard. Sorry, Silas Vale had a location of them. Little Mina had a map that had some locations on them as well. So you haven't visited them all. You have the locations where a bunch of them are.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's not that they've been corrupted. There's been creatures that have been coming out of them. So you know that Triskades has been able to use them to open up, void portals where there was like the oozes that were coming through, the Koraks were coming through. The first one that you went to, there were the Nothics and a few other creatures that had come through. So entities of the void are coming through. You don't know more than that. You don't know whether that's intentional, whether that's accidental. That's information that you still have yet to ascertain.
But we know that at least there is void creatures coming through the void gate at the Barren Isles.
There were creatures that were already there. So there was undead that were like all around it, and they didn't attack you because you were
because of our deal,
umbrella.
right?
So you guys, I think you would put together a couple theories. One of them being that he's trying to use the void gates for himself to come through. The other being that you can use them to get to him. That there's creatures that are coming through these locations, the void gates, from the void, like incursions, basically. And so the ones that you have been to, you have encountered various entities showing up there.
Okay. Then I will take back what Donaar said.
So you know that he's using them. We'll say it that way.
Yeah.
It's not that they are corrupted. It's simply that he is using them to send minions forth.
Yeah, he's beginning to send
through
troops.
them. You've encountered entities at these various gates that you've gone to.
Then that's what I will change my response to after the very obvious. You know about the void gates, right? So
I was there 3,000 years ago.
Much more investigation is required. However, we know and we have seen that Triskades is using these void gates to send through creatures of the void to this plane.
And?
Well,
I was waiting for that.
It would perhaps suggest that he is amassing an army. Or testing his limits. And perhaps looking for a way to grab a foothold in this world.
Testing our defenses.
Our response times.
Capabilities, etc., etc.
And?
Yeah, I was like, he knows this. As he knows.
I'm beginning to question If you have anything I'd be interested in.
Donaar will look back and forth between Tayland and Flick.
I mean,
There's things to share. Sorry, Mike is saying there's things to share, but
I think it's time I do a little digging of my own
yeah, that ain't happening.
to see where this is going to go.
Oh, as soon as he says that, yeah, I'll light him up. That's
Oh boy,
Okay.
here we
Uh,
go.
oh my goodness.
yeah, no noodling around in the noodle.
See, easy for him to say. He's a fighter. He doesn't have spell slots. He can just keep going and going and going.
Lots of spell. I've been very conservative with my spell slots because I have to be because I'm a fighter.
So
I
that's
have
that's
not
definitely
been.
going to be initiative.
We don't know this goblin.
Well, oh, that's good. I like the going first thing. Yes.
So go ahead and roll your initiative. Let me know what you want to use. If anything other than just
Oh,
your
I guess,
straight
yeah, that.
initiative.
I forget. We do fancy initiative here.
Look at that, 23. Beautiful.
I think Donaar is just going to be perception because he's in diplomacy mode, and
I gotta say, I would have preferred rolling that 19 on something that wasn't my initiative, but I guess I'll take it.
I'll take a 17. That's not bad.
Hmm?
All right. Then we need torque.
Oh, I'll do that. Let me just select torque. Torque just perception.
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
$11. Donaar will use his feat, his tactician feat, and swap initiatives with torque.
Okay.
So I'll go to 11. He'll go to 17.
Okay. So Tayland, you hear him indicate he's about to go memory digging, and at that, Flick can instantly just goes into action, and you understand. Okay, it's on. So what do you?
Oh boy.
Yeah, the whip is in my hand. Instantly.
I mean, on the one hand, Talen's not exactly excited about the idea of something rooting around in his brain. So I can't argue with Flick's motivation. On the other hand, something that confident when we're level 13, you know.
I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight. I'm saying it needed to happen.
So, oh geez, what a decision. Man, I think I'm almost wanting to just hold off and see what's going on. But I'm not sure if we want to stop. Can I do like an insight check maybe to kind of gauge everyone in the room?
Sure. What are you trying to perceive?
I'm trying to determine. Like, I know what Flick's about to do. I know that he's engaging. I know reason why and everything. I guess I'm trying to look at like kind of eyeing Donaar, seeing if maybe he is still wanting to try something, or if Serena is kind of seeming like are they kind of around Flick? Because Flick made it pretty obvious what he was doing. I don't think he was being subtle, so I'm just trying to read the room, I guess, and try to see what everyone else in the room is kind of gonna do, or it seems like they're about to do.
Sure.
I'm gonna guess Serena's gonna look relieved that someone else made the call, so she doesn't have to give up the goods.
I got an 11 on the insight for what it's worth.
It's pretty obvious with Serena. Like as soon as she sees you, Flick, she's going for Reaper and Ruckus as well. She's got going for a pistol in one hand and her sword in the other. She's like, yeah, I'm not giving up my secrets.
I imagine Torque is similar.
Oh yeah, this thing is big and evil, and I'm about to punch a god, probably.
Like, he looks like he's about to go Super Saiyan, kind of.
I mean, he always does, but yeah. So you only got 11, but I don't think it's hard to read that there's a level of commitment to this thing ain't eating our brains for lunch.
So
I will say that Donaar looks different.
Okay.
If
in what
he's allowed to see that.
In what way?
You see Donaar pull out his copper wire and start to interweave his fingers.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that means.
You have seen Donaar do this every time he casts the sending spell.
I know what spell you're casting. I don't know what that.
Yeah, I didn't tell you guys my plan, so.
Nope, that's fair. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know whether this will inform your decision at all, but do we remember anything about weaknesses of the previous one that we fought?
Ooh.
Because I don't. I as a player don't.
With an Arcana check, you could recall that information to mind.
I don't know if that's going to apply to this guy though, because that other thing went down fairly, like without too much of a.
I seem to recall there was resistance to something and vulnerability to something else, but I'm not remembering what it was.
Resistance to psychic, I think, is almost a guaranteed thing. Okay. I'm
wondering if like.
You know what?
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna cast mirror image on myself.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna kind of take a step back, move a little bit further behind this pillar that I'm in front of, that I'm near, and just sort of outstretch both hands to rise little water droplets up into facsimiles of myself as the reflections swirl around me. And then, oh man, I could use a bardic inspiration. I got one left. I kind of want to hold on to it. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Just hold on to that. So I think that's all I'm going to do, because I don't have any bonus action stuff outside of that. That is, I mean, I could use my new feet to throw Flick towards the guy, but I feel like that's unnecessary. So
okay, Flick.
He is flying flush with the floor, a little bit above the floor, underneath our level. Where is he?
He's big enough that he's both above and below it.
Okay, but sort of
he's spherical, so yeah, you've got plenty to aim at.
Okay. I will roll an Arcana check to see if I remember anything about our previous fight.
Sure.
14. That's solid. That's great.
Yeah, you recall that the other one was quite resistant. It resisted psychic. You wouldn't know vulnerabilities. It wasn't able to knock out prone. It had condition immunities and resistances. It had damage resistances. You imagine they're multiplied in
the bigger specimen here. Yeah.
in the prime specimen.
Well,
I think you get a sense that trying to inflict conditions on it ain't gonna work.
no, probably not. But we'll see what good old fashioned fire is going to do. I'll just drop a fireball on his ass and see what happens.
Okay.
He burn some of his precious books while I'm at it. I'll aim it to catch him and the books.
No.
So we'll do a. Oh, whoops! No, I don't want any cast. Why did I have that ticked? I should not have that ticked. So let's just do a fireball, level 3 fireball. Here we go.
Ooh.
Failed. It's safe.
I see that prime cackling right there. Prime cackling. Just putting that out there.
So 31 damage,
1.
which is halved.
Oh,
Well,
did you just say halved?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Oh.
all right. Fire's no good. Got it. And then I will move, duck behind a pillar here. Page will fall back. Well,
Oh, jeez.
does I have any bonus actions that I want to do right now? Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay. Serena kind of looks over at you, Tayland, and well, cousin, I guess we're all in.
Well, I guess it's time. What's a good a goblin do?
He's gonna use this pillar for cover, and she will take out Ruckus to make 2 attacks. 18 is gonna miss. 22 is gonna hit.
Oh, jeez.
13 piercing and 11 cold is 13, 23, 24. And it doesn't need to make that save. Cannot be stunned.
Oh.
Well, that's not that
Damage.
surprising.
From the one hit.
And all the cold goes through.
To be honest, the biggest shock of this fight has been no legendary resistances.
Yet.
Both were halved. Both the piercing and the cold were halved.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Serena has a magic weapon, does she?
Yeah. Ruckus is magical.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. It's that just straight resist. That's awesome.
Resist all damage half. That's
Torque.
Not all damage, just
most.
I think obviously Torg is going to rage. It'd be
Add
foolish
Flick.
not to. Add Flick.
It was going to happen eventually.
Damn it, Flick!
And then I think Torque has to get closer, and he probably wants to get closer to interpose
He has
himself.
range with his whelming wrath.
You can throw it.
What is his range with that?
It's at least 20 feet.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's more than that, and it comes back to him.
oh, okay. Well, he's still going to step forward,
His feet that he has.
try to draw attention.
I'm the one you want. Pick on somebody sort of your own size. Closer to.
So I think we'll go Whelming Wrath,
If
and
a shell,
then
so do you pick on me.
how do I make it crush? No, not Crusher. What's the thing that makes it so that the thing that attacks him back gives advantage or something?
Reckless attack.
Reckless attack. What do I have to do for that?
Just
You also-
declare
just-
advantage.
Just declare it.
Yeah.
Oh,
you also
okay.
have he has his elemental
Oh, Elemental Cleaver.
cleaver. You
Uh,
can choose.
so is that
Oh yes.
is that a bonus action? Can he do that in Rage in the same turn?
Oh, it is a bonus, isn't it, to change it? Or to...
I don't know. I'm assuming. Range damage.
Is that a feat or is that a?
So he's got it
Ability
underneath
item?
his he's got it underneath his attacks. Elemental Cleaver.
He would have declared it, like he would have decided what it was going to be. So just go ahead and choose what.
So far we know cold and
Fire.
fire are resisted.
Let's try acid.
Okay.
So Whelming Wrath, I'm rolling that. Normal roll. It's does Reckless make it advantage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Does
Pretty good.
32
Like crits.
minus 5 hit?
That's a crit. I mean, it's a crit. So
okay,
yeah.
so then do I do... Oh, there we go, yep. Okay, so that's 13 plus...
45.
45 damage. And then Elemental Cleaver I add on top of that. Oh. 1 acid damage.
Okay.
Does the acid damage go through? It's only
It-
1.
Minimum, always minimum 1.
Oh, okay, okay.
You can't have 1 damage.
Right. Yes, of course.
It doesn't. 1 doesn't go to 0 unless it's immune. He doesn't have immunity. It's resistance. Then 1 is just 1. That's always the lowest.
So does he get 2 attacks?
Yep.
So just a regular attack next?
No, he has advantage on it still.
It would still be advantage because it's reckless? Okay. All right. So 24?
Yep.
10, 20, 30, 35.
Okay.
And then Cleaver on the second as well?
I think so. Go for it.
Okay. Okay. So 5
Without getting
acid.
into the crunchy.
Yeah.
you
So
just
5
usually just say,
acid.
yeah, sure. Okay.
And does the acid seem to inflict as it should?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean,
Uh,
it hits him.
It hits him, yeah.
It's not. So he's not immune to it, but
Okay.
it's no more significant than anything else that you've seen so far.
All right. That's a move and 2 attacks and a rage. So that's everything he can do.
Okay.
Guys, it's been nice knowing you.
So. Flick.
Yeah.
I need you to make a. Wait. Oh, wait, we're in the wrong one. A wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, one of my good ones. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
make it.
jeez.
Okay. The Prime Calculian, he doesn't really turn or face or anything, but you sense sort of a wave of energy in your direction, and as all of you watch this kind of expulsion of energy come out, it does a weird thing where kind of the air ripples, and time seems to kind of go wonky as it almost like slows down for a brief moment. You take 21 points of force damage.
Here we go.
And Flick suddenly is moving very, very slowly as if
Jeez.
time has changed for him.
Neat.
Donaar, you notice the elements of this spell as they're cast. You see that thread of chaos magic.
Mm.
This is Ataxian magic. This is not the usual.
What happens if you try to counterspell that? Or dispel it?
I guess
Good or
I
bad
could.
things.
I guess I could.
Flick, you are paused. Your next turn, basically, whatever you plan to do on your next turn happens the turn after that. You basically miss a turn.
Oh, jeez.
You're moving so slow that your turn like takes twice as long because you've been caught in a time bubble where you're like,
All right.
so you're all watching as Flick is just like,
That's an improvement.
moving.
I like to imagine that he's like one of those little dogs. So even though he's moving super slow, his whole body is like breathing heavily. Continuing, he's like just like shaking as he's moving.
The Caculian rises up to come up more out of the pit, and you see just
Hi.
an unending mass of tentacles, an impossible amount of tentacles and appendages just flowing from this thing. And rather than ending, a bunch of them like do end, but you see more of them just continuing down into the pit and just straight down into and through into the void. So you don't really know how big or how much of a reach this thing has, but it seems to now be
Too much.
stretching both into the void and into your reality at the same time. I think it's time to pause. Let cooler heads prevail. Donaar.
So it is said it's time to pause.
You catch the pun
Yeah.
as you see it like pause, Flick, and Flick is like, it's kind of.
I mean, listen, you're never too multi-dimensional to make a pun. Especially especially when you're being DM'd by Craig.
Yeah. Sorry.
It comes from the pun dimension.
That's true.
All right.
It's a land beyond ours with strange rules.
I'm pun dimensional. Yeah.
So it's time to come through on my pun dimensional. I just got that. All right. Time to come through on my initial threat to this thing. So I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to there. Okay. Donaar is going to finish weaving the copper wire in his fingers.
Okay. You get him.
And he is going to cast Sending to Jorund. He's not going to say Jorund's name. And if I say Jorund's name during the message, I'm going to be very unhappy with myself. So
Counterspell.
Oh, for crying out loud, no. I should have seen that coming.
Yep.
I literally just looked at my notes from that first encounter and it countered my wall of light back then. Oh, how many counterspells is it going to have?
I mean, I would assume at least 3.
I'm probably too slow to Counter its counterspell, huh?
I'm assuming if you're
Yeah.
slowed, you can't use reactions.
Yeah,
That's right.
Can I counter its counterspell?
You can.
It's a hell of a lot of spell slots, but yeah.
I will attempt to counter its counterspell.
All right, so if it was doing a level 3 counterspell, then you can just counter it with a level 3 counterspell.
If
So that's the question.
It knows, well, but the thing is, so it would know how
Not
much power it
necessarily.
needs to use to get rid of sending.
not necessarily. It doesn't
surely
necessarily know
it
what spell
knows.
you're casting. It doesn't
Maybe.
necessarily know what spell you're casting.
Oh, I suppose, okay. But I
It
mean,
doesn't necessarily.
the
it might.
components,
It
though,
doesn't
I mean, it's got to
necessarily.
know.
It might.
It may. It may not.
All right.
Never assume that it can, but that doesn't mean that it can't.
So it just means it wouldn't be automatic if you upcast it, right? So you just have to roll for it.
So, because Donaar does not want to fight this thing, I am going to upcast the counterspell to level 6.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man!
Wow.
Oh, even if that works, that's a hell of an exchange.
If we don't have to fight it, then
Okay.
I don't need it.
And if anybody plays Magic, you know the terms of cost exchange. That was
I was thinking chess, but yeah, same thing.
yeah. Well, I'm a nerd.
Okay.
Mm. What, chess players aren't nerds? What?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it 1-for-1 to your sending. Third level for third level.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
Didn't need to use any high more than going to.
Well, but I wanted to be sure.
Okay. You counterspell, it's counterspell.
So
Hooray.
I am able to send sending now.
Now you get to send your tweet.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Because it can't use its reactions, so you
It's-
can't counterspell your counterspell. Something else could, but counterspell can happen in a chain of fact, but
Yeah.
one
Yes, it
reaction
can.
to one reaction is the only. Yeah. Each can only do it once unless they have multiple reactions, right? Because it's a one.
Well,
one,
even then, generally speaking, multiple reactions can only be used different turns, not all in the same turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I mean, in a singular instance. So
All right. So Donaar will send to Jorand. It's Donaar. Scry on me now. There's something here that does not want to be seen. Oh, that was too many words.
I don't think you have time to really correct this. You're in the middle
No.
of combat.
No, I'm.
Mm-mm.
You may be our only hope. Please help us.
Obi-Wan.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Major and one. Okay. Interesting.
And for the record, I will say these words out loud because I want him to understand I can get his presence here out.
Okay. Noted. Is that
That's move, reaction, spell. Yeah, that's me.
okay? Top of round 2. We will pause and take a break.
Holy crap! Look at the time.
It is after 10. Yes. So
I was really expecting when the creature said it was time for a pause. I thought that was going to be your lead in.
no, that was just for flick. But yes, we'll take a break. So we'll be back. So stay tuned. See you shortly. And then, you know, you guys understand, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, Kalen.
Yeah. So we're all gonna offer Flick as a sacrifice to the great being, and then we'll get on with our lives.
I believe that is what we agreed upon. Yes.
That is what we agreed on. Oh God.
Not at all.
So it looks like we're combating this thing.
You did hear Donaar send his message.
Yeah.
I said that out loud.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I want to take this thing off just yet. I kind of want to see what we can do here, but I also don't want to just ignore my friends and be like, he didn't do anything. He's a coward. So I think this is an action. I wish I had Dispel Magic or something to help Flick out. We don't know what kind of sight this thing has. I assume. So why don't we try? I guess I'll do something offensive to him. I mean, it's either that or counter charm, but let's not real. It doesn't. I don't think that's going to be super useful. He doesn't seem to have enchantment or like frighten or charm or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna do much.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think he's weak against psychic damage?
No.
He's a big telepathic tentacle monster.
His greatest strength is also his greatest weakness.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it works around that way, you know? That's how Pokemon kind of works that way. I mean, it's either that or I bloody shoot the guy. I guess that's the better option. Or I just obscure myself in a thick fog cloud. But I feel like that ain't gonna... I feel like he can just sense minds. So, it's probably not super great. Oh, yeah, why not? Let's throw a vicious mockery at the guy. That way, if he succeeds, I didn't actually do any damage to him. Get him to do a wisdom save.
What are you
How am
gonna?
I looking at it?
You gonna say back to him? Let cooler heads prevail.
Oh my god.
He's going to succeed on that.
Well then. Shock of shocks. He's gonna take 9 psychic damage. I curse you, self, with the doubts that you've shown, for this is my life and I've made it my own. He'll have disadvantage on his next attack roll, if he ever makes one.
So yeah, I'm gonna
Burn a legendary.
burn a legendary to
Hey, there it is. To take no
save on
damage.
that. Yeah.
That's a well spent cantrip.
I just made him burn a legendary resistance on a cantrip, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations. Here's your reward.
That's information.
That's information.
That's information. That he didn't use it on a fireball.
Maybe he's trying to
Use
stop
it
this
on
fight.
vicious mockery.
Maybe he's just trying to
It's really
let
sensitive.
cooler heads prevail.
The fact of the matter is that his ego is effectively non-existent, and he just couldn't handle the depths of which I could level his self-confidence to.
Yeah, maybe he was bullied a lot as a kid for his list.
I mean, he's a librarian.
Oh, jeez.
You would mock a librarian. Jeez. Way to go,
Take
man.
that, Four Eyes.
Actually has no eyes that you can see, but you know.
Take that, No Eyes, with your
Okay.
weird tentacle body and you're messed
Sorry,
up.
is that
Yeah, I mean, I still want to hold on to my last bardic inspiration, and nobody needs to be moved around, so I think I'm okay.
okay? All right. So Flick,
Yeah.
you're essentially how this time spike works is that in your mind you're acting. So you're what would you like to do? It won't happen until your next turn, though.
Yeah, so what I will do is I will move up to the edge of the pit there to get within a 10-foot reach, because that should be able to hit that square.
Okay.
And then Hex and Booming Blade and Whip.
Okay. So that is your next turn. So you started to move into that, and it takes you that long to kind of initiate that. So you guys see Flick
I'll
like
leave it.
moving, but he's just like,
That is my intent.
okay. Serena's not really sure what to do here. I guess. She'll just shoot him again. I mean, it hit. She doesn't have too much else she
Oh.
can do. So
One question, do I get a save at the end of my turn to try and clear this condition, or is it just on me forever?
it's not on you for it. Yeah, it's until, so it just happens this turn. So it's one
just-
turn.
Once. Gotcha.
Yeah. So then your next turn you catch back up.
All
It
he's
just-
got to do is
basically-
just hit you every turn with it.
It's basically a 6
Oh.
second delay. Like it makes you like, and then your second turn you kind of things
Gotcha.
come back to normal for you. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a permanent. It's just a one round. Okay. Well, she's just gonna shoot him because I'm not sure what else to do. That'll miss. That'll miss. She'll use bonus action to aim that actually. To give advantage. So advantage 27. That's 15. So we have to reload soon. So she takes a couple shots. You see the first shot miss, and then she like puts her arm up and like aims a little bit more. So that's her bonus action spent. Does a little more damage, and she just kind of looks around like, "What are we doing, gents? We're really trying to fight this thing."
Flick's
Sure.
trying to fight it. I just think he's hungry.
I don't know what Jack would do, but I feel like Torque would maybe see Donaar running up to the front line, and again, he's familiar with his sending spell. Seeing him do that and talking to some other person on the other side. I feel like Torque's probably still going to attack like Serena, but maybe before he does, he's like, "Captain, what are we doing?" And then he'll attack again. Maybe this time without reckless attack.
I mean,
Just-
he's raging, so
Yeah. So we'll just go with a regular Whelming Wrath normal roll. Why is that -5?
because he's
doing
got
Great Weapon.
Great
Master.
Weapon. Great Weapon Master is -5 to hit plus 10
Yeah,
damage.
So to be fair, he rolled a 2 on the die. That's why the number's so low.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that would be a 14 -5 for 9?
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
But I presume he's doing reckless attacks.
Not this time.
Said not this time because he's trying
Ah,
to not open himself up. He's
Oh,
it's
I
like that
see. He's
attacking,
like-
but
yeah,
tentative.
he's-
Like,
he's-
are we
he's
doing
being
this? Like,
hesitative.
He'll call it back, do the same thing.
cool.
Okay,
That's better.
23.
Yeah, no hit.
So, oh
Easy
wow,
does so much damage.
what's that? 30, 40. 40 damage.
He's Godzilla.
Plus the elemental cleaver of acid damage, 4. So 44 damage, 4 of which is acid.
Okay.
I think otherwise Torque maybe, because he feels Donaar is close, will take a step closer, just so that he is technically in the front.
Okay.
And that'll be his turn. Unless somebody else has some input.
I don't think he's got any bonus action goodies he can do. So yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
it.
Torque destroys things. So it's
Torque smash, that's it.
very well. Okay. Hmm. I think it's time. Yeah.
Oh crap.
Donaar, it knows that you sent the message off,
Mm-hmm.
and based on your previous interaction with Flick, where you scried and Flick kind of gave you the deets, it gets the idea of, I think that's a pretty good idea of what you're trying to do. Whoever's going to look on you, and you can be like, there's a thing, here it is, this is what it is.
Oh crap.
He kind of turns again, focuses your direction. Clever. Now, how well will you be able to describe things here if your mind has
Here
not
comes
yet
the feeble mind.
matured to where it should be? Sort of similar idea, but that's actually not. You again sense the Ataxian weave come into play as it thrusts out a wave of chaotic magic at you. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Can I instead counterspell that?
So because this is Ataxian magic, you can try,
Okay.
but there's no guarantee that it will succeed because this is not magic born of the same weave that your counterspell is. It is a different source altogether. So essentially, there's no guarantee that it'll work. It's harder to stop. Much harder.
Do I
because
have?
It is a totally different source.
Do I have a reaction? I used it on my last turn.
No, it's a different round.
It's a different round. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm going to attempt a counterspell because I don't like what he just threatened me with. But I'm going to upcast it to 5th level to maybe give myself a better chance given the unknown nature of the magic.
Okay. I need you to make a ability check, your spellcasting ability check
Okay.
that is higher than 5th.
Okay, so I'm adding the spell's level to this? Oh, intelligence. Okay.
You're adding your spellcasting ability modifier, so it's DC. It's a D20 plus your
Plus my 4.
you use intelligence. So
Okay. I rolled a 17. Plus my intelligence of 4, so 21.
Okay. So on a normal spell, that would cancel it out.
Oh no.
It doesn't cancel it, but it does reduce the effect, essentially working as a saving throw that you realize, like, as you send out your counterspell to block this, and because it's essentially like it's alien.
Hello?
This is magic that's not even the same source that you cast from it. So the very essence of it, as you're trying to block it, you're trying to pull apart the threads of this spell's weave. You catch some of it, but some of it still makes its way through. So I still need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay. Oh, that's a 6 + 3 for a total of 9. And I've already used my reaction. I can't do Arcane Deflection. So 9.
So the good thing is that the spell is only going to be half as effective. As this wave of chaotic energy hits you, you feel time shift. Not in the same way as it does around Fleck, not this bubble, but physically, your body and your mind begin to alter. And you feel yourself getting younger and younger.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Thankfully, instead of reducing 16 years in age, you only reduce 8.
Ah!
Oh my goodness.
How old does that make you, Donaar?
Donaar was 45.
Okay.
So now I'm 37, which is what Mike was until
Okay. You rolled
recently.
not too bad on that.
Yes, please. Don't. Okay, well, here's the problem. That's fine on Donaar. That hits tail end. We got a problem.
Yeah.
That was Flick could blink out of existence if he rolls well.
So your age is not reduced young enough to affect your stats. You managed to alter it enough. This is not a permanent effect.
Oh, okay.
You're not permanently 8 years younger. However, for the next hour, you're 8 years younger.
Okay.
But you managed to pull it off. You managed to just block enough. And so you feel like it doesn't increase your strength or anything like that, though. You're not like, oh man, I'm younger. Like I'm feeling more fit. There's a wearying effect to it, as if that rapid de-aging has had a really significant effect on your body. If it had been the full effect, you would have had exhaustion as well. That would have come along with it. But your counterspell managed to stave off the more debilitating effects of it. And you sense a level of it's impressed. It's like communicated telepathically that well, that was interesting. And it's just a pause. It seems to be thinking, considering, wondering about its next approach. And in that blip, in that moment, you hear the response. So, 6 seconds later, you hear the response from Jornd. Oh, very well. I will see what I can do. I will scry on you and allow it to come through. Yes, in a moment. Sweet.
Okay.
Message received. Oh, sorry, your turn.
Yeah. I think hearing Joran's response, Donaar is going to raise his hands again in like everybody stop kind of motion. Like
Don't
kind
forget
of
to make your voice younger.
I can't. No, I can't make the gravelly voice any younger, unless he just sounds like me. I don't know. So the hands will kind of go up, kind of angled towards like everybody. All right, everybody, stop. This is gonna get us nowhere.
Hammer time.
I am doing hammer time. We don't want to.
We will not attack you anymore. If you let us go, we will not reveal that you are here. I don't know how much of that Flick would understand, given that I probably sound like a squirrel or worse.
Yeah, my destiny is set, my friend.
His attack is already happening, so.
Is there anything that I can do to stop that from happening, I wonder?
You have no idea. He's not moving fast enough for
Well,
you to
I
know.
suppose, yeah, I don't realize.
That's the thing is that this whole time, Flick has literally just been like,
He's waiting to start. Oh God, it's so
Just like
close
slowly
now.
moving. Although in Flick's mind, everything's just normal. You guys are all like zipping around. It's like, what the?
Yeah, I mean, I could try. Although I don't know, I said a lot there, so maybe that's just my 6 seconds. I think maybe that's it. Maybe Donaar will just, as he's saying that, he will take a step closer to the edge, just with the arms up.
One step closer to the edge.
I'm about to break.
And that will be
a room to break.
that'll be my turn.
This is my 3. So, okay, Talon, you've heard the words from your captain.
I certainly have. I mean,
They're
I've
silly
barely-
words, but he heard them.
I've barely attacked or done much offensive, so let's see here. Crawling in my robes. These wounds, they need a potion. I guess we'll hold off and see what happens.
So you get
If I-
ready if you wanted to.
I was thinking I'm probably gonna ready something. I could just conjure 10 gallons of water on top of the thing's head just cause. Why not? But I think I'm going to kind of keep the pistol. I first produce me pistol. And I'll just kind of keep that braced and just kind of keep one eye over on Donaar, one eye on the creature, blink because I've gone cross-eyed, and then just, keep focusing on the enemy while I wait to hear what's going on. If anything, if it looks like negotiations or diplomacy has failed, I will resume, and I'm gonna try attacking it again. I'm gonna throw another vicious mockery, if that happens,
Okay.
because I'm curious. But I will hold off for now.
Okay.
Maybe what I will do actually is I will. Can I still do my bonus action and then ready my action? Is that? I think that's okay,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm gonna throw bardic inspiration onto Donaar.
Okay.
Just in case. It's my last one. Make it count.
Okay. You do notice that Donaar seems different, younger,
Oh yeah,
something different
He's got,
about him.
he's got more of a sheen on his scales.
I already
Mhm.
forgot about this.
Yeah, something's changed about him. His
You're
voice is
looking
just, like,
pretty good,
not,
Captain.
his voice doesn't sound as rough as aged.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
I'm still my age. I didn't de-age.
He sounds like Mike now. It's like Mike. It's normal. Yeah.
For the
Just get your
record,
son.
none
Get your
of
son
us
in.
are professional voice actors, so this should not be an
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
expectation to lay on anyone. This is a
Sorry. Unprofessional, but I try.
He is now a young lad sailing by
right,
the
Flick.
stars.
You suddenly, everything just kind of comes back
snaps back into
normal.
place. It's
You-
great. So
Yeah.
I
Snap back to
You
reality.
guys watch like Flick has just been like
in molasses. He does a whistle as he's running up. Paige swoops in for a little help action, and then swoops back out behind the other pillar. So first, and I'll throw Hex as a bonus action on the big bad here.
You did state that, yep.
Hex for the day, and then I will a booming blade, the first one with advantage, thanks to my small paper bird. Hey, question. Is he an aberration?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this will be a straight roll because my funky whip has disadvantage against aberrations.
Oh,
He's a straight up aberration for sure.
Wow. Good job, Flick. You really
All
know
right.
how to pick them.
Hey, 27 to hit, however.
Mm-hmm.
nice.
It's a moose.
All right. So this is booming blade and hex. And
Don't do
I've
too
already
much
spent
damage.
my Fury of the Small, so that's all we get on this one. So
Oh,
that's all nicely split out for you. So there's 6 necrotic, 6 thunder, 6 psychic, 11 slashing.
Jeez.
so 18 different effects and 11
Yes.
straight physical.
29 total?
Yep.
yeah.
Cool.
None of those
Well
any more impact than the
done.
other.
Right.
None of them are immune are negated fully either. So
Okay. Second attack. Disadvantage is a 15.
Ooh.
will not hit.
That 8 a crit.
Blocks your tentacle with one of it. It's just
All right. And I moved 20. I have 10 feet of movement left. I'm good.
so you're a little bit disoriented, not to any effect, but as like everybody is moving super fast around you now, like they've all cut
Now
you're kind
everything-
of back in normal, and it's like you have that moment of like, whoa,
Just came off a roller coaster kind of feeling.
like what? That feels weird.
Mm-hmm.
Your stomach kind of feels like you just ate something fresh instead of rotten, like
Mm.
a little bit strange for you. Yeah. Serena is going to take your cue there, Donaar, and with Tailend. So she will reload Ruckus as her bonus action, and then we'll just ready and wait to shoot. Kind of just pauses, looks.
Yep. That's the
I'll
plan
say-
at this point.
You, Donaar, as you're giving the command in, and she kind of acknowledges, without any insight needed, there's palpable fear like on Sarita's face.
Mm.
Usually she's pretty unshakable in a situation like this. Like she seems pretty, steadfast, but there's like you can just like she's gone pale. You can see whatever aspect of this entire thing, this encounter, this creature is doing it, but there's worry and fear. There's a timidness to her right now.
Good.
Torque.
If Torque readies an attack, can he maintain his rage?
I believe it's as long as you don't start. When you start your turn, if you haven't attacked or taken damage, you lose your raise. It's when you start your turn. So as long as on the start of his next turn, has done the attack or taken damage, he will maintain his rage.
Yeah. So this turn, if he readies it, it'll continue on, and then it would die next turn if that doesn't go through.
Okay. I mean, what does it look like when Torque readies his action? Is it just...
Yeah, pretty much. A big loaded swing ready to go.
The hands just grip a little tighter.
Yeah.
It's that Henry Cavill thing where he like reloads his arms.
Yeah. and his shirt pocket disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Torque, I mean, historically Torque has always deferred to Donaar, so I think Torque will stand ready to attack. You will ready an attack in case the Caclean does not stop or relent of his attack. But otherwise, Torque will stand his ground. I think that's it. Again, unless you guys have any thoughts on Torque.
No, that's probably what he'd do. Flick is looking very confused why everyone is not continuing to beat this thing senseless, but
Flick does see Donaar with his hands up,
yeah, it's like, but
at least.
that could be the finishing of a spell casting. He's not quite sure. And there's one of the fancy new ones he got.
It's a sonic boom.
She doesn't want to go. Dog didn't want to let go. He's like, no, I'm staying. Okay. You're all pausing. It's curious. I'm kind of interested to see who it is you contacted. It's been a while since I've had a challenge. Perhaps I can still get out of this something that will benefit me. I'll give you one question. What would you like to know?
What is the average flight speed of an unladen swallow?
I'm afraid I haven't been to that world yet. I'll let you know once I visit it.
African or European?
That's when he gets yeeted into the void, right?
Yeah.
That's when he answers it wrong, goes in the hole. That's
What?
Eudoran or Torlin?
One question. What do we want to know?
Everything.
Yeah.
Got
I
him.
mean, so
You can't handle everything.
above table, I am thinking between two
Tell us
questions.
everything you know.
Well, it's not. This is not a genie who we're trying to swindle. It's like, what do you wish? I wish for 100 more wishes.
All began 7 billion years ago.
Speed up.
Listen,
Uh,
if you word it correctly, you can get 2 out of 1 because you just add the word "and." It's a magical word.
hmm.
It's all one thing.
Or the word "or."
That's right.
so-
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is a Boolean or an exclusive. That's it.
So I'm curious. Does it know how to stop Triskades? Is what I'm thinking.
Right.
Will it help us stop Triskades is another thing that I'm wondering about.
Okay, so immediately on those two, first one's the better one because the second one's the second one's a trap question, a trap
I
because
suppose
we
that's
say,
fair.
will you help us? He just says no. We're like, okay, well, anyway,
Yeah.
you know, first
Good
one,
meeting.
if we, the other problem is word it correctly because if you ask, do you know how to stop Triskades? And he says, yes, we're like, cool.
Cool. That's another meeting that could have been
That's
need
right.
help. That's
Do
a
not
fact.
ask. Do
So
not
the-
ask a yes or no question.
So the question
I
is,
think Donar's
how-
intelligence is high enough. For
it's
that.
true.
Yes.
Mike's intelligence is not, but Donar's certainly is. So the better question is, how do
Assuming
we
you know what the
stop
board game is.
Triskades?
Yes, how is a good
How do we
is a
stop
good-
Triskades? Is everybody agreeable on that question? Or is
I
there a better
mean,
question?
I would say that currently, the direction of our quest has been to go speak to a demigod godling to ask for its help in fighting Triskades because we don't know what else to do. We don't know what we can do
Our
to do
options
that.
are.
We don't know what our options are. If we know how to defeat Triskades, that adds a nice little checkbox that says, cool. So now we know what we have to do. We have an end goal. Let's figure out and break that down into steps as to what we have to do. So I agree. I think that is probably the most pressing question for us at this moment because we're not directionless, but we are just kind of like biding our time, gaining allies and information
Yeah.
until
Throwing
we,
stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
yeah, until we find it. So this might be our way to get out of that direction and then pivot ourselves towards
Have a direction.
an actual, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now do I need to be more specific? Not that I think that Craig is a jerk, but if I say, how do I stop Triskades? And his answer is, from what?
That may not be a jerk, but he is a jerk.
I would say that it answering with a question does not constitute as information. Thus, it is a clarifying question, which would be allowed.
Okay.
If it
Right?
cares.
Because sure. I mean, if you ask, do you know how to stop Triskades? And it says yes, that's information. We've learned something.
It does know. If I
Right?
ask how,
If you ask how do I stop Triskades, and all it says is from what, we'd be like, okay, we can answer that question, but like that doesn't give us information. That's not
Changing the
we're not learning
meaning
anything.
of purple.
And if it does count that as an answer, then it's not actually willing to give us information. It's just being a dick.
so what are you
Now,
saying?
of course,
Because I
Which it
could,
could
so-
do.
Ian, what are you about to say?
there is the it could give us the trite answer. Right. It could just say kill him.
Yeah, well,
Now
yeah.
he is stopped.
That's true. So, I mean, I like to think that Donaar's like gone into his mind palace, and there's just like a little tail-end analog and a little flick analog, and we're just like sitting on either side of him, just like hanging out, just be like, "Well, what you got to do?"
So
Yeah, because I mean, Ian's got a point. If you do, you could. I mean, it's all going to depend on like how much do we think this thing's word is worth. Because no matter what we ask, it's going to be able to, if it really wants to give us a nothing burger of an answer.
True.
Mhm.
Like,
And could also be totally just full of crap and
because you
lie to
could
us.
be super specific. It's true. You could be super specific and even say something like, you know, what can we do to kill Triskades? And it could just say, stab him.
Repeatedly.
It's like, that's true, but it's lacking the extra information of with this thing that you find here. It just it's being purposefully
vague.
but not, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I'm inclined to believe that that's not the case because I don't think it. I mean, it has a bit of sass, so I wouldn't look past it. But
so I'm wondering about posing the question: how do we stop
so
Triskades
here's
from
the
entering
deal.
our world?
Either it is posting this option as a way to basically give us a gigantic middle finger, or it's legit and it actually does want to give us some information as like I am holier than thou, I'm taking the higher road, I'm better than you.
Olive branch. Yeah, let's stop this pointless conflict. I think asking how can we stop him from entering our world is
Don't we already think he's already in the world?
I will say, just on an insight level, I think you guys do understand, because it has like verbally mentioned that it prefers non-violence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Made that very clear. So I think you can reason from that an alternate is actually in its interest, because
But just rolling that back though, is just I seem to recall there being mention of that Triskades had already gotten here to some respect.
It
Maybe
is
not
pushing
fully, but he
through.
was already like his essence is already here. So
yeah, so you know that he is, so to the extent of what you know, because it has been a while, you know that he's in Eudora. Whether that is in his full power doesn't seem to be. But what does that mean is still what you're trying to figure out. Like, is he still like part in the void, a part in Eudora, or is he here but he needs something more
there's
to be strong? Is there a way to send him back? But he has already come.
there's also something to be
He
said
has entered Eudora.
for like, are we trying to kill Triskades, or we just want to banish him and like get rid of him and then he's gone?
The thing is that if I'm remembering and reading through my notes accurately, they've banished him before. So
Right.
I think,
but if we banish him again, and then it's not our problem. It's Flick's great grandkid's problem.
But we like Flick, and I'm certain we would like his many great grandchild. I mean, none of us will be around for that. Torque might be, but
Torque can be the aged wise person that helps them out until he dies in the first chapter. We'll do a sequel campaign.
So Triskades is already in Eudora to some capacity, whether that's his influence or a part of him or his essence or something.
Which is why I'm saying I would boil it down to one of two questions. Either it's how do we kill him, or how do we send him back? Those are really the two, right? Because like, if he's already here, how do we get rid of him? If we can kill him, we could do that. Both are viable options.
Okay, all right. So I think I know how to phrase this. That we can get both answers with one question.
Cool.
Aside,
stop and or kill.
No. Aside from killing Triskades, how do we get him out of Eudora?
This is a question you posed to him?
This is the question, yes.
Well, that is information that I happen to have.
Uh-huh.
I will tell you what you want to know. And here's my condition.
Uh-huh.
You will leave. You will tell no one of our encounter. And Donaar, whoever it is that you spoke to, you'll tell them it's all good. You've taken care of the matter. Should you betray this deal, I will find out. And I will not hold back next time. I will unleash all the chaos of the void on you. Do things to your mind and your body that you cannot even begin to imagine. You've seen but a taste of how it can influence time, change your very physiology. I was not lying when I said that I prefer less aggressive and violent means. I am a broker of information. That is what I do.
Can you create a fourth dimensional hypercube?
No. Do you agree?
Absolutely. You have our word that if you give us this information and allow us to leave, nobody will know that you are here.
And you understand the consequences.
This
That
ain't the
you-
first sword that's been hanging over our head. Yeah, I think we got the picture.
Damocles, our old friend.
We've been racking these up.
To answer your question, I must first give you a tidbit of other information. Perhaps
Hooray, freebies.
something you've gleaned. Jinx, you own the universe. In order for Triskades to accomplish his dream, his goal of conquering and eventually consuming this world, he needs power. He's gone about it in different ways over the millennia. Whether it be through divine sparks of demigods or other lesser deities that he tries to consume. There are many ways to gain this power. But it's power of this world that he needs. Do you know of the veil that holds the gods at bay?
Point at Tailend. Not that one.
Ah. Good to know.
I believe
The veil
we are-
that holds the gods from fully entering and, I will say, manipulating this world. It stops him too. Not as fully, but it still has an effect. But if he is able to gain power of a divine sort or on par with it on this side of the veil, then he achieves his goal. He achieves his power, and there will be nothing between him and that which he craves. But in his blindness, there is something that Triskades does not understand. A lesson he did not learn from the end of the First Age. The fate that befell his 12 brothers and sisters. What killed them was a surge of power beyond what they could handle. When the gods and the titans and the dragons of this world, when they broke the weave, that pulse of energy, of raw reality, flowed through them and blew them apart. What happens if you fill a vessel beyond its capacity? If you have a water skin and you give it more pressure than it can handle, what becomes of it?
Gets
There
a
you have
wiggly and stretched out of shape.
bursts.
In his hunger, in his blindness, he will consume every ounce of power that he can get his hands on. And like a wild animal that is beyond reasoning and will continue to eat to the point where it kills itself. Such has his mind become. Find a way to channel more of the weave itself of divinity, of power from this world. Find a way to channel more of it through him than he can bear. And it will eradicate him just like it did the rest of his kind.
But if we don't overfill him and just top him up real nice, then he'll be super powerful and eat the universe. Is this what we're getting at?
More or less.
Awesome. I hope we can figure out where the fill line is.
I'm having a little trouble understanding this metaphor, but I think I got it. So what you're saying is the power is like
Like a balloon?
it's like
Oh, sorry. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
that was better. So what you're saying is all this power is like absinthe. And if he just takes too much of it, he'll pass out like a sort of poison. It's like it's really good for you, and you feel great, and it makes you powerful until all of a sudden you're wallowing in the ditch and you're wearing your pants as a hat.
And that is an amusing way to look at it.
I don't think Triskades has pants, and I definitely didn't do that. I was just making this we're just making a metaphor here.
I think you're onto it.
Like putting too much air in a balloon.
Like, is your quill still out recording all of this?
Absolutely. Reams and reams of paper in my backpack, just getting filled.
Oh.
Right.
One request.
Well,
I would like to give you something to give to Triskades when you come.
I
face
got
to
lots and I
face
got to
with
give him already, but yes.
a set of brass knuckles.
Perhaps in a sense.
Yeah, I'm getting this whole metaphor thing.
A mote of pure chaos. Donaar, you can sense the ataxian in it in like raw, concentrated form, and just like a mote, like a ball of it, just kind of floats out up from the prime cackling and kind of comes out towards you, just hovers in front of you.
Give him this.
Maybe
promise
Donaar should take that.
It'll hurt him.
Thank you. Donaar will reach out to try to grab it carefully.
Awesome. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Is he gonna kill me right here? This was all just a ploy. Constitution saving throw. Was it that Ian said those are the ones that I'm best at? I rolled a 6 plus 3 for a total of 9.
Okay. You grab it, and it pulls your hands to it so that you can't actually let go. And it kind of gets smaller and smaller, and you can feel it like seeping into your hands until there's nothing in between. And there's kind of a bit of a shock, and you look down at your hands, and you just see the faintest thread of like almost like veins, just like a little bit of purplish black on both hands.
Grabbed an
Should have
infinity
a scrub
stone.
right out.
You don't feel it. Doesn't hurt. But it's there.
When the time comes, tell him that's from me. Don't worry. I'll see. Now get out of my library. We're done here.
Right away.
I need to find a new archivist. He just stays there, waiting.
I think Donaar will start to back up. I don't know how we got in, or how you guys got into this place. Alright,
We were
guys.
led in
There's
through.
stairs down over here, yeah.
All right, guys, let's be on our way. Donaar will start making his way back.
Just a casual walk in this
Yep.
direction.
No murdered guards left behind.
Just walking all casual like. Not being suspicious.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
All right. As you exit, make your way back up to the level above it.
We done learned the things.
We did.
Go from that to the next level, sort of the main area of the museum. Kind of walking out, and there's a few of the guards and people inside. It's kind of looking at you with a bit of confusion. And then one kind of looks, shakes their head, and kind of goes and stands by an exhibit. As you exit for the front, Donaar, something really interesting catches your attention. The same two guards that you just interacted with don't seem to acknowledge you or recognize you, make any comment of how'd you get in. They're just kind of nod at the group of you as you leave.
Guess they didn't want anyone asking too many questions.
Give me an insight check.
I like insight checks. Surely I can do. 23. Whew.
They
Seems less like they're hiding than that they actually don't know.
No, I was implying that the guy downstairs didn't want anyone asking any questions, and has
And that
fixed the
these
situation for
guards
us.
legitimately don't even recognize that they just had an encounter with Donaar less than 10 minutes ago. They have no clue. You
that's
get a
interesting.
picture of the mental hold that the Cackling has on this place.
Mm.
And that he really is behind everything, working in the shadows. None of them are even aware of it.
That's our big bad for the next time.
Well, on the upside, this isn't a town that's going to get overrun by the black goo and force us out, like the other
I
five we
suppose
visited.
that's true. I mean,
That's
I was going to say
very true.
we've made a very powerful ally / enemy.
But our track record of leaving towns in ruins in our
Am I
wake
Alamine?
has been broken.
That's true, but we also tend to make
Alanamine?
lots of frenemies.
And as you ponder the implications of what you've learned in that encounter and where to go from there, that is where we will end it for this session. And we'll pick it up from there next time. So thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed that, and we will catch you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.